Thanks so much, everyone, for staying with us. Chief Sowunmi is one of perhaps the most vocal member of the People's Democratic Party. He wanted to be governor of Ogun State, and he also spoke for the presidential campaign organization of the PDP in 2019 and 2023. He's a very well-known ally and supporter of Atiku Abubakar, and he's been speaking in recent time about the government of Bola Tinubu and the APC. He doesn't agree that they're running this country well. But yesterday, Chief Sowunmi was seen in pictures meeting with President Bola Tinubu, a man that he has heavily criticized either in the elections or after the elections. But what exactly has gone wrong? If you see what a lot of people have reacted on social media, saying maybe he wanted a position in government, and that's why he visited. But not much of the reason behind the visit is known. But how suddenly can an arch critic of the government of the day now be seen shoulder to shoulder with a man that he has heavily criticized? Mr. Sowunmi is live for us in our studio here. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
I didn't know it was going to be this early for you to come back to the program, but it was necessary after that meeting yesterday, which got a lot of curiosity. Are you still a member of the PDP?
Without a doubt.
You're a member of the PDP?
Of course.
Okay. You visiting the president? Does it sound like an
Ask your question so I can answer.
No, I'm asking you.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you are anticipating a certain question.
No, no.
But I'm building up to that question.
Okay,
so the question is, does it sound to you, did you get a permission, like Governor Wike said he did, at the world,
local government,
to get the appointment? Did you get a permission before meeting?
Can you just
meeting the president?
Can you just relax?
I'm relaxed.
Okay, thank you. You know, I feel that you should have the right of first to hear the story, because you are my man like that. Everybody knows that I've known Ashaju for a long time, even way before he became a governor. He was governor for 8 years. I never visited him. And he ran and luckily put Buhari, in that team 2 times. I never visited him. When his party, the APC, won the election in 2015, I knew that some rescue had come for those of us who believe in the pan-Nigeria stable democracy. I was invited, but I felt at that time that, look, let's let the party just survive. And those who brought it in at first, let them settle the party and grow it organically. I don't like to go to people when I have not invested some energy into their play. Now, I have been in PDP longer than most, and I'm sure that if we were to go into the archives and we were to bring all the rushes of interviews of people that have done for PDP, nobody bar none since 1999. Now, what happened? I had gone home for Salah, and one of our leaders, whom I will not mention, a deputy governor, had called me, and I thought he wanted to just, say hello to me. And lo and behold, he said, hold on. And, how are you? You have to come and see me. Now, let's just start from the fact that who the hell is the person I'm going to take permission for to see the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
So the president spoke to you on the phone of the deputy governor?
You are not listening.
I'm trying to understand you.
I'm giving you as much as I can.
So if I'm sitting with her, he doesn't understand
I'm trying to give you as much as
I'm
trying to give you as much as I can within limits.
Okay.
From the phone of the deputy governor, I knew that I was invited to have a meeting with him. The next day, I was still free. The third day, I had to go. My instinct was, okay, why not? He's been in government now for 2 years. It's not a bad time to go and have a conversation with him. Those who know me well, especially in Ogun, they know that I used to run a program called Lions Den. Show is hotter than Politics Today. I don't ask easy questions. I ask very tough questions. I ask very probing questions in the most polite way. But there'll be questions that if you don't answer, you'll even know that you kind of don't know the answer. And I have a deep relationship with the president. I can look at him from a distance and look at what he's doing from a distance without talking to him for 10 years. And I can always put the block, okay, this is why I did it, this is why I did it, this is why I did it. I've known him since 94. And I did not know him as his cheerleader. I knew him as a thought leader that was engaging in the process of how do we rescue this country. And even at that, I was not in his part, never been. I had to go to him now for 3 reasons. The first was that I was concerned that this democracy was faltering, and I didn't think it was his fault, even though he was mostly blamed. I could not understand how, after about 20-something years, political parties will just suddenly assume that they have an escape route of blaming others for their own woes. I didn't like that, and I wanted to be sure that what was going on there. The second reason is that I began to become a little bit uncomfortable with the demonizing of all policies by those who don't understand what it takes to design futuristic ideas that could work. The third was that I felt okay. Perhaps if I spoke to him, if I visited, we would engage the way we usually engaged, you know, and I'll be able to decipher the state of his. Some people talk about his frailty, and I told you here before that I know him the way his mind works. So I jumped on that invitation. I was actually prepared for Junior, but with all the ensemble. My friend Aregbe, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. So I went there. Now let me start giving you the gist. Oh God. First of all, his brain is very alert. His feet, never mind that he's frail. The type of questions I asked him, you know, when you're asking someone a question and the person is answering without looking at a book, and he's answering the way you know that, okay, he's saying it the way he sees it, and you are agreeing, you have to know that the touch point at which he's answering those questions are previously reflected. And you've never invited me to an interview giving the question before I come. It was like that. I asked him, let me share one.
So the president was mentally and psychologically alert.
Oh God. His brainwave, because I've known him for a while, and I know how he thinks. His brainwave, oh, Sowunmi, I don't do psychophancy. I don't even know how to be, I don't know how to do it. You opened up by saying whether I wanted to be on an appointment. The only time I was ever on an appointment in government was the government of Otumba Gadane. When I was in government, which I to his credit, I was like a pain in the ass. You know why? I can't stand when people get up one after the other, one meeting, just doing psychophancy instead of cutting to the cheese. I used to do that a lot. If I have a soft spot for Daniel, it's because he had the ability to take it on. The hotter, the better. I don't have the bone.
But just a moment. With your meeting with the president now, is it likely that you can work with him?
There has never, listen, God, there has never been a doubt that I can work with him. There's never been a doubt.
Even as a PDP member, if they had invited you, they had given you an appointment, you would have taken it.
I don't do that type of nonsense. If I am going to work with the president, I'm going to leave the PDP.
Because I'm wondering,
completely.
Just a moment, because
I'm going to work with the president, I'm going to dump the PDP.
So the question is,
I've been here for 27
you have sat in this same chair and you've criticized, you think that this government is rudderless.
Yes.
Yeah,
at the point.
You held that view. You also said that there's been a lot of ethnic concentration,
lopsidedness. Yes, of course. And I feel so.
Yeah. And you think that the way and manner this country is going under the Bola Tinubu government, although you said that you know him very well, but you don't think that the man is leading us anywhere. Those are some of the views that you have shared on this program. Do you see all those thoughts?
So let me help you. When he set up his government, the beginning of the ministers, I was honestly not happy that some locations got more. And I was particularly unhappy that the Southeast got only 5. I didn't like that. And I didn't spare that. I didn't like that. And the reason for that is simple. I feel that to manage the balance of the country and to build consensus around decisions, all the critical components must feel that they are treated equally. But guess what? We talked about it, and he has balanced it. Most people don't even remember that commander of one of the agencies, Ogala, is an Igbo man. He has balanced it. He has balanced it. And then let me give you another one. Remember I said to him that I think that I thought that Yemi Cardoso maybe was not, that maybe it was because he was a Lagos person from him. The president gave me an example that shocked me. Because I told him, I said, listen, what's this? And he said to me, Shagun, do you know what happened to Yemi there? Because even I cannot even give him instructions if he doesn't agree. And he gave me a good example. I said, I won't tell you the example, but he just told me that I told him do this. And I said, Mr. President, no. I said, I'm the president too. I said, everybody knows me. His eyes are on the inflation and the money in circulation, that kind of stuff, and monetary policy. So, I asked him what about Governor Sowunmi. The kind of questions you can't ask him. But anyway, bottom line is that I have to be...
What did he tell you about
I will tell you that later, but let me finish. Because I've heard a lot of annoying jargon. Like, I can't visit him. Like,
there are a lot of names people have called you. Sycophant, hungry man, that you are seeking for opportunity, that you are... A lot of things that people have called you. You being a critic, you think Nigerians will not criticize you?
I don't care about
No, I can't stop because I invited you. And I'll ask you the question.
You are repeating. Let me just answer you. By the grace of God Almighty, I was born with a womb of a woman that had money. And I was born by a man who was giving his mates money even in the army. Please, I don't know that kind of poverty. We're just humble. If I wanted an appointment from Tinubu, I'll be there since. My brother is Bikole Amosun. In the past, he was governor in Ogun State. We had an issue because I left him for Daniel. He was governor for 8 years. He's my brother. He can never tell you I ever came to him to tell him, let's do beggar. But I don't flow that way. I just believe that there comes a time in the life of a nation where you must try to be sure whether the direction that the leader is going to is the right direction, or at least whether it is his intended direction. And I guarantee you, I don't kid myself and I don't have any reason to kid anybody. He's smart. Above average.
But you think you never thought that before now? You didn't think that we are on the right track under this government. But after just a moment, let me ask my question. Can you calm down, Mr. Sowunmi? This is my program. I've invited you, and the courtesy between guest and presenter. Let's just establish it. So let me land on my question. My question is this: before now, you never believed that the country is on the right trajectory, but after yesterday, you think otherwise.
No. You have not been. You can't. You see. If you have followed me around a lot, I do a lot of interviews, you would have known those things I said they were right on. I told you, and if people say they're going to remove subsidy, there's no simple way. I'll do it smaller. The move is removed. The knock-on effect on subsidy is clear. There's no beating about the bush. In any case, you don't even have the money. I've always said that. I said I do not agree, only to the extent that I would have rather he was punishing those who messed up that opportunity for everybody. That's it. I told you, I'm not very comfortable with the devaluation of the currency. And I did tell you, if you recall, that because of an experiment that had been carried out sometimes around 1972, people like us read a lot and we research a lot. Some countries said the market would regulate the currency. Some countries offered controlled. Among the countries that did open market were France, England, and the USA. Among the that did control was Germany, Indonesia, or Singapore, and other. You know what they found out after 5 years of the experiment? Those that controlled the currency did better than those that left. You know why? Because what you call the market, you can never manage the entire greed and the complication of the market. Because what do you know that the people would do? But that was my reason. But their reason was also a very strong reason. You can't be borrowing money to back currency. I knew that. But I just wish that they could have thought that, who are those people collecting the currency? Who are those people doing the arbitrage? So that we can, because they will leave the paper.
So the question I was asking earlier, whether or not after yesterday, you had...
I think that,
if you were born again...
No, I don't need to be born again.
The philosophy of Bola Tinubu.
I don't need to be born again. I've always known him. I've always said he's smarter than his mates.
So, but do you know anything different from this?
I think what happened when I was with him yesterday is that nostalgia of who I know he is. I like when I think, okay, we've been through it. I know him. I like when I think, okay, he's there. And people say, oh, this. So I like the fact that he's just as I knew him.
So, I mean, agreed. Bola Tinubu, you underrate him, underestimate him based on his frailty at
people do that.
And for some of us who have been in Lagos, covered by Lagos, we know him. Sometimes when when you come at him as a journalist, you think he doesn't know what he's saying.
Exactly.
It looks like he has prepared the question and answer for you. Sometimes he even calls you.
Well done.
His smartness is something, and Babajide Fashola sat in that same chair, and he told me that when people thought that this man is frail and unable to do something, then he launches that. But the question is that a lot of people want to know is you are an Atiku man.
I'm a PDP man.
Just a moment. You're an Atiku man. Don't gainsay him.
I'm an
You are close to him. Just a moment. You're an Atiku man.
Yes,
now you have gone to me. Doesn't that look like a betrayal of trust? Did you tell Atiku before you met him?
You know, one of the things that hurts me the most is that most people misinterpret what the role of somebody who speaks for other people are. He doesn't give me the script of what to say for him. I take his idea, I look at him, I ask one or two questions, and I generate everything I need to say. There's no secret of his that he gave me that I'm giving him. It's the things that I have looked at. Okay, this is what he would like to do. I've answered questions that later on, when they ask some of their people, they can't even answer those questions. I dislike.
This is you, Mr.
Yes, I'm telling you.
I criticized Daniel Bwala when he moved on to the other side.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, listen.
You called him a tongue. You called him several names.
I never did.
Right on this program, you did.
No.
I dare say you did.
Okay.
If I knew you were going to deny it, I would have brought it.
Listen, what I said.
You criticized him.
No.
But I think you should apologize to him.
No.
But if you criticize Bwala for working for Tinubu, and this is you talking so eloquently about Bola Tinubu,
listen,
you heavily
I own my mouth, I own my words, I own my arguments.
Does it look to you like betrayal
of who?
Of Atiku Abubakar?
Is he
you now taking sides?
Is he running for president now? He's running a coalition which everybody knows I'm not part of. Why would you even in your wildest dream think that I don't have my individuality because of what? Do you know how long I've been in the party? Since the time get-go, I've never left. I won't say the same about them. You see, when you make it this way, I don't like a situation where every time I have to have the question, you force me to have to do a pushback on that. I don't need to. I am at liberties as an adult to take decisions that work for me. And I will be very happy if people don't make it about Atiku President, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, because that would then kind of like make you want to do a pushback. I don't need to do that. He takes decisions that are in line with how he sees things.
I'm saying Daniel Bwala, for example, you criticize him for moving to...
If you go and look, you will find out that I didn't really...
I will get it. I'll probably put it online to remind you.
You could.
So the question is that you've criticized Daniel Bwala for leaving your side onto the other side.
Daniel works and is an appointee and a member of the APC. I am not aware that we have taken a decision in this country that just because we're in politics, I can't give somebody that is old enough probably to be my father or my uncle. I'm not aware. I'm not aware that if I knew that if people are going to get this silly, I would have been visiting much earlier because I don't understand where this is coming from.
So let me ask you
I'm not tied into anybody.
Let me ask those who think that you are anti-Tinubu before now.
They didn't think that.
No, just
I'm not anti-Tinubu.
I mean, you can't see yourself 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not anti-him.
So take it when other people give you a feedback. If people think that you are a very strong critic of Bola Tinubu,
because I'm a very strong and passionate, loyal person of PDP.
Do you still going on to criticize him now?
You know, I'll put it this way.
After benefiting for almost an hour of his AC free of charge.
So
there is AC in his house.
That's trivializing.
I'm saying that you were in his environment.
How much is an
being with the #1 president.
Thank you very much. Now you are putting it properly. The privilege to engage the #1 citizen in office, even though I'm not in his party and I've critiqued him, makes him superior to the others. I've been in this party forever. The only time we go to them is after they've lost and we need to kind of like shut them up. Yeah, and I've never stopped one day. I've never dropped the ball. You know, between Bola and them, he doesn't have one approach to deal with everybody. He has the uncanny ability to apply different people. Everybody has almost like a perfect relationship with him, and we are all not.
We need to close now. Were you able to tell him that people are suffering in this country?
We talked about that, but you don't have time to hear. You don't have time because you allowed us of going to listen. I asked him a question about two things. I asked him a question about insecurity and what he was going to do about it because we had talked about it in the past many years back, and I also asked him a question about food security. He said to me, we will get over the hurdle of food security because it's bringing in the equipment. and that specialized areas are going to be given for the north and north. And then I chipped in. How about Ogun? He said, I've just done something for them on Cotton and I will continue to do that. He mentioned the number of tractors they're bringing in. And then when I said, look, I'm not comfortable anymore. Our people are dying in security. He said he had looked at it, that it's a bit structural. We don't have enough of everything, but he said, and I believe so, he's going to scale up, something they call forest guards for each of the local government. Then he's also going to do something that he said, local people from that particular environment will be specifically recruited for the police force to manage. This is show.
Thank you so much.
By miles is smarter than them. Miles.
Even Atiku Abubakar.
Can you stop this? Smarter than Peter Obi. Atiku
Abubakar.
It's smarter than. You just want to keep saying that.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
For coming out tonight.